Hey allihopa, hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Say It In Swedish. I'm your host, Joachim, and today we're gonna take a look at a unique feature in Swedish, at least among the languages with perfect and plusquamperfect, which are past tenses, if you didn't know. Generally speaking, these two tenses are constructed with the auxiliary verb to have, at least in English. In other languages, we also have the verb to be to construct these two tenses. And in Swedish, it's only with to have. In Swedish, that's ha. And perfect is then constructed with the present tense of ha, which is har. And plusquamperfect is constructed with the preterite form or imperfect form or whatever you want to call it, which is hade. But the feature here that is unique to Swedish is that you, in some cases, can drop this auxiliary verb, which is unthinkable in other languages. And today I'm gonna teach you the rules for this. A lot of people, including Swedes, think that this is a colloquial phenomenon, but in fact, it's not. It's something you will find in written Swedish a lot, and it has just lately become something that you will find in spoken Swedish. But we use it, a fair amount in spoken Swedish today, and we don't really know the origin for this. There are some signs of this throughout the Middle Ages, I think, and it might have started out as a spoken thing and then died out, and then it gained room in the written world of Swedish. But we know for a fact that in the 1600s, the use of this exploded, basically. So we could say that it's all started in the 1600s, and some people think that we might have gotten it from the Germans, because even though they don't have this now, you can find it in like poetry, for instance, but in Swedish we use it day to day. You can find it in laws even. I have scoured the law book and I found some signs of this, and it's something we use also in spoken Swedish today and in modern Swedish. So that's why I'm making this video. This intro is far too long. Now I'm gonna teach you how to use this. Let's go. Firstly, in a main clause, you cannot do this. It will sound wrong and weird, and as if something is missing. So if I take this plain, regular, normal sentence, jag har ätit, which means I have eaten. If I take this one and drop har, it will sound wrong. Don't do that. Jag ätit. Sounds weird, doesn't sound right, but we Swedes, we reduce a lot. So maybe to you it will sound like we are dropping this, but in fact we aren't. If I would reduce this sentence, it will sound like this: Jag har ätit. But there is a slight bump on the A in har there. So it's more like jag har ätit, jag har ätit, jag har ätit, jag har ätit. So beware. But if we were to have another auxiliary verb in this sentence, then you could drop har. So for instance, in this case, jag borde ha ätit. I should have eaten. Then you can drop ha, and you will have jag borde ätit. This works in Swedish and is not weird at all. I should eaten. Sounds weird in English, doesn't it? But we could do that in Swedish. So remember this. In the main clause like this, with like a subject and your verb and your object or whatever you have, you can just drop har. So jag har ätit. You have to have har here. But if you add an auxiliary verb, then you can drop ha. I guess you could say that you always need two verbs in a main clause like this. So it needs to be har ätit or borde ätit or borde ha ätit. And lastly, we can use this even more in auxiliary clauses. Yes, here we can do it whenever, for some stupid reason. So we can say eftersom jag ätit. Eftersom jag har ätit. Eftersom jag ätit. Because I have eaten, or since I have eaten, or whatever. So an auxiliary clause is a clause that starts with a subjunction, maybe, for instance, like because, or if, or since, or whatever, something like that. Then you can drop har here, so it becomes because I eaten. Sounds weird, doesn't it? But this is how you do it. This is how you sound even more Swedish. And there are no rules when to use this and when to do this. It's just with reductions. It's something that happens when we speak. We don't choose actively when to use what. So think about that. You can use this whenever, and I think this will make you sound a little more Swedish, because it's correct, but it's not like you have to have these words in this order and then you will sound correct. But if you want to sound authentic, you should throw in a little bit of this and a little bit of a few reductions as well. I have a video about reductions that you can click, I think there. Yes, I think there. And if not here, then it's there. You can click that for my video on reductions. And so if you want to sound more Swedish, try to throw in a few of those as well. Alright everyone, that was everything for today. I hope that you learned something and that I could help you to sound even a little bit more Swedish, and we will see each other in another video. If you want to learn more Swedish, you can do that on sayitinswedish.com, where I've got free audio lessons and vocabulary lists. And if you want to support this project, you can do that on Patreon. And if you want to practice your Swedish, you can do that on our Discord server. Links are in the description down below. See you in the next video. Hej då!